All right. So, career planning and professional skills. I will be your instructor. My name is Waleed Ali. You might have me in your other classes. You might have had me before. You might not. If you haven't, then we'll meet you in the live chat and we can have more discussions. But this course is going to be a little more fun. It'll be a little more engaging than all the other classes that I teach because this one is more hands-on and it'll be a lot more. I feel like it'll be a lot more fun and you guys can learn a lot from here. Okay, so basically, let's just get started. What are we going to learn in this class? So basically, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to help you guys get settled into the Canadian markets, right? Try to give you guys a competitive advantage over the other, the others. I don't know how many students. There's, I usually have around 300 students every semester, and in this class, I will try to help you be better than all those other students. Okay? So if you're in this class, then this class is going to be something that you're going to learn a lot from. So how to develop a job search strategy, communication skills, searching for the right job, how to interview effectively, closing the deal, some tactics for interviews, how to stand out against the rest. So I'll be teaching you guys this stuff because I do this on a daily basis. I'm not just an instructor, guys. I don't just instruct at Purist College. I'm a sales and project manager for a equipment manufacturing company. We manufacture heavy equipment for the construction industry, for new condos, for hospitals, all that stuff. So basically what I do is I'm in sales, obviously. As I said, I'm a sales and project manager, but communication is a huge factor in my success. Um, and being able to interview correctly, interview the right way, has gotten me multiple job offers. I've Getting a job for me has never been difficult because I've studied the art of closing the deal. I've studied, you know, how to interview correctly. I've studied literally all I do is study this stuff. So communication. So for me, my job as a sales and project manager um, is difficult for people who don't have the skills that I do. For me, it feels like it's an everyday thing. So I do this every day, and that's why I like to teach because this is something I can actually talk about because I do it on a daily basis. I sell. I'm the highest salesperson. Highest. I have the highest sales. I'm the top salesperson at every sales company I work at, especially at the company I'm working at right now. 4.5 years I've been there, and 4.5 years for 4.5 years I've always been the top. From all the other salespeople that used to work there ever, I've set records. I've broke records, and I've made an amazing network of people where I can call on for anything, and they will always help me because of just the good business that I do. I can take businesses. I've taken businesses from bleeding, losing money, to becoming the top in the industry. So I'm not just here telling you guys about things that, oh, I read a book and this is how you're supposed to do it. No, no, I do this on a daily basis. Millions and millions of dollars. I deal with multimillionaires on a daily basis. So that's a little bit about me. Okay, creating a timeline. So the first thing you want to do is create a timeline. So this is easy stuff, right, guys? Um, so by what date do you want to find a job? List out those steps you're going to take in order to find this job. The list should include a timeline of all your activities, such as figuring out what kind of job you want to work, prepping your resume and cover letter to match that position, which is very important. And a lot of people just put out generic, like you'll say you're applying for a an engineering position, but you've never done any engineering in your life. Oh, I worked at McDonald's, I worked at retail, I worked here, I worked there, not showing anything in regards to engineering. They're not going to hire you because you're you have a generic resume. Researching companies and job postings, making a list of all the postings you believe you would be fit for, setting aside a time to apply to all the positions, setting a time to follow up. Guys, the biggest thing in life that people always miss is the follow up. Follow up is so important in anything. You're asking a girl out on a date or a guy out on a date. You can text them, hey, what are you doing Saturday night? Hey, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Why? What do you have? What do you want to do? Hey, I'm thinking just go get a movie. Okay, cool. Okay, sounds good. Okay, cool, great. And that's it. You leave it there. 9 out of 10 times, one of you guys is just gonna forget or just think that it's not. If you're trying to pursue somebody, you have to hit them up again and say, hey, the next, like couple, hey, we're still on for Wednesday. You gotta let me know. Yeah, 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 we're still on for the night before. Hey, I'm gonna come grab you this time. Are you good? Okay, good, perfect. So it's a follow up, right? You gotta continue the follow up. So if you send out a resume to a company, right? Follow up. Call that company. Say, hey, did you receive my resume? I'm really interested in working with you guys. Anyways, we'll get into that later, but this is basically what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to create a timeline. You have to create a timeline of of where the day today versus where you want to be in the next, let's say, 6 months, right? 5 months, 1 month, whenever you need to get that job. Identifying your accomplishments, very, very, very important. So for me, I know what my accomplishments are. I just told you a little bit about them, right? I'm the top salesperson at every company that I work at. I've taken companies from literally the worst in the industry to the company that everybody wants to work with. How did I do that? Right? We'll get into that later. But I know what I've achieved and what I've accomplished. You guys have to also do the same thing. What are your accomplishments? Right? So make a list of all the things you've done that you're proud of. The list should consist of circumstances that could relate to the job that you're applying for. So if I'm applying for a sales job, I'm not going to talk about, oh man, my sports team won this trophy and it was, who cares? That's not. Now, what they want to hear is, well, the previous job that I worked at was they weren't doing very well. They were the company that a lot of customers didn't want to work with. But when I went there, I turned it around. I gave them good customer support. I made sure their product was there on time. I followed up. The communication was key, and I turned the business around. And that's the type of stuff they want to see. So accomplishments in regards to the job position that you're applying for. So, for example, if you're applying to be a suicide hotline negotiator, you will list down the times you've helped people out in a difficult situation. So it's so simple, guys. People just need to use their brains. And they don't use their brains. That's the issue. A lot of times people don't use their brains. They just think, oh, I'm just gonna talk about this, 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 this. You gotta stay on track and get to the point. These accomplishments should be highlighted in your resume and cover letter. It would also help during the interview process. Okay. When someone's interviewing you, and they ask you, hey, so tell me about some of your accomplishments. Then you have face to face. You can just tell people exactly what you've been through. When I tell people about my accomplishments, sometimes I don't like saying it because I'm not sure if they're going to believe it until they call my references. That's why I always give my references. Hey, why don't you call this person, this person? If I maybe in the live chat, I'll tell you about the stuff that I've done. But I've done some. I've made a lot of money for a lot of companies, and took them out of very difficult positions. And I'm not saying that to try and boost myself. I'm trying to show you what you're supposed to do in order for someone to hire you, right? You want them to know that you're confident and you've had accomplished so many things and you will accomplish even more. Okay? Then you have to identify your strategic advantage. What is the reason that you will be hired for the job over all other candidates? What are your strengths? What do you bring to the table that no other candidate can? What sets you apart from the competition? What tools do you have that will benefit the company? What kind of experiences do you have that can increase your likelihood of excelling at that company? Guys, very, very, very important, right? You need to, if you're applying for a job, there's 30 other people applying for the job. What sets you apart? What have you accomplished in your life? Or what can you do that will make this person say, you know what, this is the guy that I'm going to hire. This is the girl that I'm going to hire. They're the ones because they have all the experience, they have the drive, they have the focus, whatever it is. You got to figure out what your strategic advantage is and use it to your advantage. Okay? For example, when there's guys who are not good looking, right? They're not fit, they're not strong, they're not whatever, not tall, any of that stuff. They will try and get the most money possible so they can go get the girl because sometimes there's girls out there who just want money, right? They want someone who's rich. They don't care about what the guy looks like. Oh, he's rich. So their strategic competitive advantage in order to become someone who's desirable is, okay, I can get some money. Now guys who don't have a lot of money, don't know how to make that, what they do is they become, personal trainers. They try to work out and be fit. At least, oh, I can get a girl by my looks, right? Stuff like that, right? So you got to really figure out what your strategic advantage is, and just put a big microscope on it so people see it. You have to enlarge it. Okay, so before we go live, you guys will be watching this video before we go live. But what I want you to do before we go live, because I'm gonna ask you guys these questions. So you are applying for a sales position at my tech company. I'm the CEO, and you have an interview with me. My company is in the heart of Toronto. We develop technology for the Army, Canadian Army. Okay, so list some of your accomplishments that would relate to the position you're applying for. List your strategic advantages that would aid you in getting this job. I want to see what you guys' brains think like. So list some of your accomplishments and list some of your strategic advantages that will help you get this job over your peers. Okay, we'll be doing this in class. All right, guys, that's the end of the slides, and I will be seeing you guys in class.